pedestrian.
So I shouldn't ask questions about this deal?
No. I can only ask questions that are of value to the people of Kenya. I don't want to answer pedestrian and fake related questions. I mean, there are negative forces. I mean, I'll tell you, I am not the type who will allow my mind to be the dustbin of negative people.
Fellow Kenyans, yesterday I was really listening to Aden Duale on Citizen TV with Yvonne Okwara. And I realized something. And that thing has really bothered me, and I've decided to at least talk about it because it's something that is really affecting Kenyans. You know, it's not affecting the leaders, but it's something that is really affecting us citizens of the Republic of Kenya. Aden Duale is saying that he should not be asked stupid questions. You know that is a leader, and in fact he has been given a platform. He has been offered a platform to answer some of the questions that citizens are asking, because at the end of the day, citizens are the ones with questions. What journalists do is that they just answer, like they just push the questions because some of the citizens can't get to the leaders. So the journalists are the ones that can get to the leaders. So whenever you get to the leaders, you ask questions based on what Kenyans or what citizens want. But now the people that are asked questions are saying that they don't want those questions. They don't want those kind of questions. Those are stupid questions that they should not even be asked. So I was surprised, by the way. And that is why I've decided to dig deep and talk about this issue of health. Why? Because we have to understand one thing, that Kenyans always, most of the Kenyan government is always angry. They always react. Kenyan government is always angry. They are always defensive, and they're always dismissive. Whenever questions are raised about corruption, mismanagement, or even missing funds in healthcare. That is why I've said that I want us to dig deep and talk about this issue of health, because this is not just about politics. The issue of health is not about politics. It's not politics. It is about hospitals. It's about medicine. It's about lives, and it's also about accountability. So I want us to break this. Number one, from political pressure. Number two, powerful networks. Number three, fear of exposure, and also the real reasons behind the hospital's reactions. But before that, let me just humbly request you that if at all you're meeting for the first time, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can also like, you can share, drop me a comment at the comment section, tell me what you think and where exactly you are watching this video from. If within the country, you can tell me which part of the country you're watching from, and if you're outside the country, you can also tell me which country. You just drop me the flag at the comment section, and I know that I will figure it out by myself. So our new subscribers, please don't forget to subscribe. Now, before we dive in, or before we talk too much about, before now we start talking about this, I want us to listen to Aden Duale talking about the issue of being, like, is so much selective on the questions that is supposed to be asked by Yvonne Okwara before we dive in. Listen to him.
Pedestrian.
So I shouldn't ask questions about this deal?
No. I can only ask questions that are of value to the people of Kenya. I don't want to answer pedestrian and fake related questions. I mean, there are negative forces. I mean, I'll tell you, I am not the type who will allow my mind to be the dustbin of negative people. We need, we need to engage constructively in a show like this with the good questions you're asking, so that many Kenyans can ask. When you ask me, what is the interest of these the 210 billion? When I was a defense minister, we have a huge defense cooperation agreement with the US government. I secured 56 million US dollars in the expansion of the Manda Bay to secure our country from terrorists. We are building, they've invested in the National Defense College. We have a huge security. We have a huge investment in trade, AGOA. So why is the 210 billion that will help our Kenyans who are suffering from HIV, from TB, from malaria, protect our country from epidemics, both within our country and in the region, making sure KEMSA has the logistics, has the commodity, each and every dispenser in our country has the required drugs, because the question now is there are no drugs. That Kenyans should be very happy that their country is the first one. We are not the type of people to sell our country. But the question I've asked you is, if your question is 210, then you should also question the 7 billion that was going to some amorphous NGOs and some in Washington, D.C., that Senator Rubio called it the NGO industrial complex. That's how the world should go.
Okay.
Because let me finish this.
Yes, we have to close.
Government has taken an oath. The president has taken an oath to protect his citizens. Am I right? If the data is used, I will be held responsible. So we are better off now than an NGO that we are not accountable to. You can't call them. They don't follow the Data Protection Act. They don't follow the DHA, the Digital Health Act.
So you're saying you will take personal responsibility?
Oh,
should there
yes.
be any breaches?
Yes, I have given this document to you. I have given to Parliament.
Okay.
I am ready to face anybody. I took an oath. The president took an oath. There's no way the president can stand behind us as we sign.
Now, let's talk about this. Number one, we both have to understand that health sector is normally health sector is normally politically very dangerous. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because when you try to look at health sector is one of the most emotional and critical sector in any country. We all understand that, because when things fail in the health system, when hospitals lack medicine, when ambulances don't arrive on time, maybe when there is accident somewhere, when people die from treatment conditions, the blame lands directly on the government. Because people will be asking, where is the government? Yes, we don't have medicine. There's no medicine. What is the government doing about this? Accident has occurred, there is no ambulance, hospitals are delaying. What is the government doing concerning this? So basically, health sector is normally politically very dangerous. And when you find that people start asking questions, you find that now citizens, the journalists, people start asking questions on how health money is being used. It doesn't feel like a simple inquiry, because now the government or the people that are leading that sector, sometimes they normally feel threatened. You know, they are like, they feel like, you know, they're being wanaingiliwa sana. It's like now it's a direct attack from the people that are asking to them. They also feel threatened to legitimacy, and also they feel like it's an exposure of a system failure. That is why you find that people like Aden Duale, they really don't want to ask questions, because they know that these questions can lead to something known as health scandals. Of course, we know that we've been having scandals in this country concerning health, you know, the public health being eroded, you know, there is no trust within the public health sector. All these things are happening. And that is why when these people get platforms, they react like that. They react in a way of defending, like, I don't want questions. Sorry, those questions that you want to ask me, it's like they're going to expose. So you can't ask me those. I can't allow myself to be asked those questions. You know, the second thing is we have to understand that the health sector is full of powerful interests. And I think this one is also one of the major reasons, one of the main reasons why sometimes you find that in a country like majorly in Kenya, health sector is normally deteriorating because it has got a lot of powerful interest. People know so well that it is only somehow in health sector, you know, in the health sector you can unaweza ukaiba. So it's because of because of the health sector's biggest procurement budgets. You know, health sector has got biggest procurement budgets. Remember, we have got the medical procurement, we have got hospital constructions, we have got medical equipment leasings, we have got the payment, the SHA payment. We had, remember when we had got the NHIF, right now we have got the SHA, the SHO payment and all, and then we have got the county health budgets. All these things are massively lucrative. We have to understand that all these things are normally they're normally lucrative, and historically in Kenya, when we try to look at in Kenya, big scandals like we had got, remember we had got like the KEMSA, really showed that major political figures, business cartels and connected suppliers are often involved. You know, the KEMSA, you remember the COVID-19. So it's like, you know, it's in the health sector that the business cartels, there are a lot of cartels, and you know that is where also the government also is looking for one person that they can rely on. So the government, the people that are in the government, wanakuja wanajificha nyuma ya cartels, and then when the cartels are being exposed, they are nowhere to be seen because they hid themselves behind these cartels. You see, that is exactly what is happening. So when someone is asking that where did the money go, that question, by the way, you know, that question sometimes when ukiulizwa, it normally looks like it's a very simple question. It's normally a very simple question, that where did the money go? It's a very simple question to those that are asking, or to that person who is not understanding. But it's not normally an innocent question. It's a question that threatens very powerful people. Like, for instance, when you try to ask Aden Duale, the government, that when William Ruto went to United States of America just the other day, and then what he did is that he took 250 million US dollars. What is that money coming to do? Yes, it's coming to the public sector. What is it coming to do? Now, Aden Duale is trying to say that other countries have been given money. Why is it that now this one that is coming to the government is what is making people question a lot? Can you listen to Aden Duale? Now, the reason as to why you hear Aden Duale asking or talking like that, with a lot of reacting like that, you know, it's just because he knows so well that they're going to be exposed. There is they have got the government has got that fear of exposure behind the scene, you know. So it's like a defensive mechanism. When you hear them talking about, like when you hear Aden Duale trying to explain, or maybe trying to be so much defensive, questioning why people are asking questions concerning the money that has been borrowed or that has been given by the US government and the IMF and all that to come to the Kenyan government, is like that one is one of their ways of defensive mechanism.
And then Jack, you'll get a moment after this. Let's just read this together. Jack says, data must be shared to be sure the money is serving the intended purpose. Nikikupa 500 utumie, you must account so that I give you more. UHC SHA is working. And then, so those are the two comments.
So my question to, why are they giving us 210 billion? Why did they give, why are they not, Kenya not asking why they gave 7 billion US dollars to USAID and Western NGOs and local NGOs who we had no control over? Why are you questioning the 210 that is coming to your government that you have elected? And you are not questioning what was their interest when you were given 7 billion US dollars the last 10 years, during President Kenyatta, during President Mwai Kibaki. You did not question. I mean, your questioning is very pedestrian.
So we shouldn't ask questions about this deal?
No. I can only ask questions that are of value to the people of Kenya. Mm-hmm. I don't want to answer pedestrian and fake related questions. I mean, there are negative forces. I mean, I'll tell you, I am not the type who will allow my mind to be the dustbin of negative people. We need, we need to engage constructively in a show like this with the good questions you're asking so that many Kenyans can ask. When you ask me, what is the interest of these the 210 billion? When I was a defense minister, we have a huge defense cooperation agreement with the US government. I secured $56 million US in the expansion of the Manda Bay to secure our country from terrorists. We are building, they've invested in the National Defense College. We have a huge security. We have a huge investment in trade, AGOA. So why is the 210 billion that will help our Kenyans who are suffering from HIV, from TB, from malaria?
Yes, the money is there. Once people are asking why was the money given, the next question would be, what is the money going to do? The third question would be, we want to see, like, can you give us the document so that we can also see how this money is going to be spent? So those are the things that watu wanaogopa sana. The third thing is, most of the time we find that we normally have got weak systems. We have got weak system, at the same time we have got strong defensiveness. So when a system is weak, when we have like right now we have got a government that is very weak. Now, when you have a weak government, a government that cannot perform its duties, what you'll come to realize is that the people that are working for that government, they are so much defensive. For instance, right now, we know very well that when you try to look at everything that the government has done, when you try to look at the president himself and together with these people, there is nothing constructive that they've done as a government. Now, try to look at people that are surrounding the government, the president. They are so much defending William Ruto. We have got people like the Aden Duale, we have got people like so many people. John Mbadi, we have a lot of people. People like Kimani Chungwa, we have got all the CSS Ruku, we have got Kindiki. All those people that are surrounding the government, that are surrounding the president, they are defending the president because they know, they know very well that the system is very weak. The system that the government is using is so weak. Now, for us to be to be equal with people, because people are asking questions. This thing, you promised this is not happening. This has not happened. Why? The moment people are coming to question, why is this not happening? Somebody is rising from another place and saying that this one is not happening because we've not done 1, 2, 3 things. But it's happening. It's in the process. Like, it's 3 years right now. It's 3 years. We are barely maybe 2 years. Actually, it's 1 year because we can't. At least we can 2026 because to get 2026. At least 2027. We only have 2026. 2027 ni mambo na campaign and election and all that. So what is happening right now is that you find that the people are saying, the president is saying that, I was supposed to do this, but now I feel like this is the right time. You had the time all along. You've been having this time. Why didn't you do it? So saizi ndio unaona kwamba this is the best time to do this. So such kind of issue. So you find that when we have a weak system, what happens is that the government must always be honest with Kenyans because we have got the oversight. We have got the oversight system which is majorly very weak. And this system has got its own weakness. Now, the weaknesses of Kenya, of this oversight is like we have got the counties. We have got counties manage. So we have got counties that manages the health with little supervision. We have got procurement which lacks transparency in both in the national government and the county governments. We also have got audit regularly. Flag missing supplies. We remember when the county government, where the governors were going for the audit at the Senate, Now, there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of funds that were being mismanaged and mishandled by the county government. So if you have audits which have got a lot of problems, you're being asked, where did this money go? Remember, mtu alinunua mpaka soda, I don't know, was it 3 million? Soda crate start was 3 million, 300 million, something like that. So the audit sometimes has a problem. Not the audit, you know, one thing I came to understand is that not the audit has got no problem. The problem comes when now the leader, or when the governor, or maybe the president, or maybe the person that the person that is in charge is telling the audit general or audit of our county to do some mistakes. You know, just create, you know, just play with figures. That is how they normally say. Just find a way of playing with the figures. Just play with the figures, because at the end of the day, I'm the leader here. They don't understand that when they are playing with figures, the people that are suffering are citizens. When you play with the figures, especially figures of of health, of maybe of drugs and all that, the people that are coming to suffer are citizens, not you. Yes, you played with figures, you've taken 300 million, you've taken 30 million, 3 million into your pocket. What about those people that are supposed to be helped by the figures that you played, that you played with? How is it going to happen? So these are the kind of things that must be looked at. And you also find that most of the time you find that the drugs disappear. Now, wakati ambapo dawa zimepotea, when drug disappears and nobody knows, you go to a warehouse, a county warehouse. You know, there was a time that I was when I was at home, when we had a funeral, it happened that I went to the morgue, and in the process of going to the morgue, you know, sometimes I'm normally I'm normally very secretive. I do a lot of investigation very, very secretly. So I decided to go to the warehouse where they put. I have a friend of mine who is working at the hospital. So he's in charge of the drugs and all that. So I say to him, can you take a walk? Though he was like, you know, you journalists, you know, you guys, you're so much secretive. You know, I don't know what you want to do, but let's just go. He's a friend of mine, so he couldn't deny. But at the back of my mind, I really wanted to know how things are happening. Like, are there enough drugs? Because people do complain that, you know, these hospitals, you know, hakuna madawa, unaenda unaandikiwa dawa alafu unatumwa. That is what normally happens. You go to a hospital, you've gone for treatment. So once you've gone to a hospital, your expectation is that you will be treated and then you will be given drugs in that hospital. So what happens is that you are being wanakufanyia check up, they are doing everything, but now when it comes to drugs, wanakuandikia dawa and then wanakutuma kwa one of the pharmacies. Now when they send you to one of the pharmacies, in fact they have specific pharmacies. Those pharmacies that they are sending you to are their own pharmacies. So what happens when the drug supplies is done? They hide, they don't take the whole of the drugs. Wanachukua madawa, in fact they take the most expensive drugs to their pharmacies. And then wanaacha Panadol, Peritol, hizi dawa zingine zenye unaweza enda mahali tununua 10 bob, 20 bob. Hizo ndo wanaacha. So wewe ukienda hapo, hizo ndo unapewa, alafu naambiwa hii dawa fulani kama ni 1000 enda ukanunua mahali fulani. And that specific place, when you do your own investigation and tracing, you find out that that pharmacy is maybe ni ya mmoja wao, ni ya mtu wao mmoja hapo, ama yani ni yao. In short, it is theirs. And that is how these doctors, this is how these nurses survive. So I was like, okay, so mbona mnasema kwamba hakuna madawa na all these boxes? The guy was like, hapana buni, you know, I didn't want to go deeper into that because, you know, he had already known what I wanted to do, so nikaamua niachane nayo. So the problem comes now when the drugs disappear. When the drugs disappear, the problem, they don't find a way, they don't want to fix it. You know, the issue is when there is a problem, instead of these guys fixing the issue, these people tend to attack the question. Like, the question is, why are drugs not in hospitals? Now, instead of just answering that, because, you know, it's a question, why are drugs not in hospitals? The next answer should be, the drugs are not in hospitals because of 1, 2, 3. So when you ask why the drugs are not in hospitals, we unaanza, oh, mara blah blah blah, tarara. some issues, some unnecessary issues, unnecessary things that unaingia kwa mambo ambayo haufai kuingilia. You know, the fourth issue is the issue of political optics and image management. People tend to find ways of managing the image so much. Like in modern politics, image is everything. And that is what everybody, of course, we all know that politicians normally prefer the image more than the work. So in the government, the government knows very well that if they admit to health sector's failures, it's going to paint a picture of incompetence. You see? So Aden Duale anajua vizuri ya kwamba akikubali kwamba kuna makosa, anajua vizuri kwamba okay, akisema kwamba kuna makosa, automatically what is going to happen is that they are going to be viewed as an incompetent government. That is why they have to find a defensive mechanism of talking about this. So instead, what happens, instead of acknowledging issues, this is what they do. First of all, they respond by allegations of propaganda. They say that is a propaganda. Number two, they say that media is exaggerating. Number three, they talk about opposition is playing politics. And then they also give the issue of we have handled everything well. You've not handled everything well. Opposition is talking about what is there. The media is exposing what is there. There's nothing like propaganda, you know, exaggeration. This thing is there. So this strategy mostly is normally being used. It's not a unique thing in Kenya, though. Many governments worldwide use anger and denial to manage public perception. But Kenyan politicians also has got this issue, and this one has really affected millions and millions of people because of the pressure to look competent, because even more they want to be more intense and all that. And then the fifth one is the issue of the history of scandals creating sensitivity. Kenya has witnessed repeated health scandals. Of course, we talked about the KEMSA. We talked about remember the KEMSA COVID, where we had got the NHIF frauds, county level mismanagement. We've got ghost suppliers in medical. We will have just the other day we also had the ghost hospitals, missing PPEs, inflated equipment, lease contracted, all that. So those are things that are there. There's the fear of accountability. The government really fears to be accountable. Like they really don't want to be accountable. That is why when tough questions are asked, you find that officials may fear criminal investigation. Sometimes they worry. They may worry about audit reports. They may fear losing political positions or exposing partners, allies, and financiers. Because I've told you that all these things are happening, and the government, the leaders, they hide behind these people. Wamejificha nyuma ya watu sana. So wanajua vizuri kwamba if something like this happens, they will be exposed. So the only thing that can help them is anger. So one thing, anger become their shield, a way to shut down conversation, a way to intimidate journalists, and also sometimes a way to shape the narrative. They use anger to shut down. They use anger, like the issue of Aden Duale. I think you've heard Aden Duale the way he's trying to shut Yvonne Okwara, because he doesn't want to be asked questions. How are you going to ask me? Why do you want to ask me questions? By the way, I don't want questions. I don't want you to ask me questions. Those are stupid questions that I can't answer. But the real victims, we have to understand. At the end of the day, fellow Kenyans, as we wind up, we all must understand and we all must accept and agree on one thing: that the real people that are normally becoming victims, or the people that are normally victims, are normally citizens, are normally Kenyans. Like for instance, behind all this political defensiveness, one thing remains clear: ordinary Kenyans are the ones who suffer. How are they suffering? A mother is in a rural area, in a rural clinic, turned away because there is no medicine. Number two, a patient dying because the oxygen plant is broken. Number three, a child missing vaccination because the government or somebody is playing with the vaccine somewhere. A sick person paying out of pockets because of the failures of the system. then the real stories, then these are actually these are real stories. Like I was looking, there was in Nakuru, by the way, I think in Nakuru, a child was born. Women have gone to the maternity, labor pain. So mtoto amezaliwa alafu anaekwa chini, the child is placed down so that these women can share a bed.
NTV visited the newborn unit to ascertain the situation following disturbing videos shared on social media. At 1 p.m. on Monday, during the usual visiting hours, we went into the facility and using our phones, we indeed confirmed that the social media reports were true. Mothers and their newborns could be seen sharing beds, and the traffic that comes with visitors who joined the new moms made the crowded wards even worse. We discreetly interviewed some of the mothers who were standing along the corridors of the ward. They say sometimes the situation is so bad that they are forced to sacrifice their sleep to make space.
This thing is happening. These things that we're talking about, you know, we talk about things that are happening. We talk about things that are real. We talk about things that exist. This thing coexists. They happen. This thing are happening on a daily to day's life. But now the government is assuming that everything is just fine. They can't keep on talking about this thing. You know, so what is it? According to you, what do you really think needs to change? Because according to me, I think that politicians should stop the narrative of bringing politics in matters of health. That is number one. Number two, there must be strong oversight. But now who is going to do an oversight? If the people that are supposed to do the oversight are the ones that are so much defensive. There must be an honest communication from the government. That is it. The government should always not react with their anger when asked tough questions. Just find a way of answering a question, because these issues, whenever you are responding, just respond with an evidence. Okay, say that this was supposed to happen, but due to 1, 2, 3 things, it didn't happen. But we are working, or we are in the process of making it work. Simple. People will understand. That's okay. You are defensive. How are you going to help? How is we really going? How is it really going? Because you know, remember, when it comes to health, every Kenya deserves the truth. After all, guys, that is just my thought, and that is all I have for now. And I would also like you to tell me what you think at the comment section concerning this, because this is one of the most sensitive things that is really making people to suffer, not only in Kenya, but all over the world. Tell me what you think, fellow Kenyans.